Ladies and gentlemen, Rigathi Gachagua is keen on kicking Johnson Sakaja out of Nairobi. And because in politics nothing happens out of mere coincidence, I want us to look at why he's planning to do this. Because yesterday something happened. Rigathi Gachagua met with Jubilee MCS from Nairobi. And this is what he posted. That delivering the Kenya Kwanza plan is at the heart of His Excellency William Ruto's administration. It is for this reason that today I hosted Nairobi County MCS from our former Jubilee party who had paid me a courtesy call at Harambee House Annex. We discussed cross-cutting priority areas of development and representation. Is proceeding. Elections are behind us. It is time to deliver. All leaders must strive to work together towards this goal. And is listing the MCS who joined him. And the question which I want to pose to you, why do you think Rigathi Gachagua met only with Jubilee MCS from Nairobi? For me, I won't have a problem if, for example, he called for a meeting of maybe Kenya Kwanza or a meeting with the MCS from Nairobi, including the Azimio. But he was very specific on Jubilee MCS. Why? Rigathi Gachagua sat down somewhere. He picked a pen like this one, and he also picked a paper like this, and he took his mind and thoughts and calculated how many MCS do we have in Nairobi? How many are in Azimio? He realized that in Azimio they have 67. In Kenya Kwanza they have 63. Actually, not even Kenya Kwanza, UDA. So it's very it's not very difficult for him to impeach Sakaja if he wants, from the face of it. Because already if he removes those 6 MCS who are Kikuyus and added them to his tally here, we are going to have 62 for, no, there are 6. So from 67, if you remove 6, we are going to have 61 for Azimio. Then you add 6 here, we are going to have 59. Then in his mind, he believes very strongly that he can then approach a few MCS here, there, and he will be able to impeach Johnson Sakaja. The truth of the matter is that Rigathi Gachagua is actually dreaming, because Johnson Sakaja is much more wiser. And that's why Johnson Sakaja is actually working with Raila Odinga.
Nimezungumza na baba. I have no apologies for working with Raila Odinga. And I have no apologies for working with William Ruto. In fact, ile siku William Ruto na Raila Odinga watakaa, mimi ndo ndawaleta pamoja wakae kwa meza. Because Nairobi County ni county ya kila mtu. Nairobi si ya kabila yoyote, si ya chama yoyote, ni ya watu wote wa Nairobi. Rais wetu apatiwe heshima yake, lakini pia Raila Odinga, engineer, the enigma, must be respected also. Ama ni mbaya? We must respect leadership.
Because working with Raila Odinga is going to save Johnson Sakaja in a very big way. Sakaja understands that Raila Odinga controls Nairobi politics. That's why he won the presidential votes, he won the senator, he won majority seats, both at the county and at the National Assembly. He has the women rep. So he understands that. And the fact that Azimio has 67, tell me, if Rigathi Gachagua is controlling this UDA MCS, who are 63, actually they are 53, who are 53, and assuming Sakaja was not in terms with Azimio, who are 67, Rigathi would only need 30 MCS from Azimio to remove Sakaja. So Sakaja is smart. And just before that meeting, Raila Odinga held a major political rally at Kamkunji grounds. And during that rally, Wajakoya actually heaped praise on Johnson Sakaja, because the previous day, Sakaja was actually in Nakuru, and he invited these guys to go to Nairobi, because Nairobi is for everybody. And that's now what Rigathi Gachagua is actually using against Sakaja.
This country will remain united. Na mimi nawaambia, unajua kwangu Nairobi niko na kila mtu. Niko na kabila zote. Nairobi tunasema hakuna njaa ya Mkikuyu tofauti na ya Mjaluo. ile uchungu mama Kinya anasikia when she can't feed her child ni sawa na ile mama Njeri anasikia. It is the same pain. Na ile furaha pia unasikia mtoto wako akifanya vizuri na wewe ni mama Kavindu is the same one that mama Cheriot feels. We have more that unites us as a country than what divides us. And that is why hata naambia ndugu zangu kina Ledama, najua kesho mko kwangu Nairobi, karibuni. Welcome, mfanyeni mkutano Kamkunji ground, but let there be peace.
Advise the governor to concentrate on the mandate that the Nairobians elected him to do. Service delivery. Let's do projects within the wards. These other political sideshows need to end. We yesterday I also heard during the Azimio rally he was congratulated.
He has hardly been paid 6 salaries, yet every day he's here in choppers and having parties and throwing parties and throwing all manner of things all over Nairobi. And we want to appeal to him to respect the people who elected him, to respect his party leader. We are also aware that he is short of challenging the party.
Ningependa kusema yafuatayo. Ningependa kwanza kumshukuru Bwana Sakaja na mshukuru Mheshimiwa Sakaja for being very sensible kama governor wa Nairobi. Yeye mwenyewe ametoka akasema ya kwamba yeye ni gavana wa Wakenya wote. Na alisema kwamba watu wako huru kulingana na katiba. Ya pili.
So in this video, I want us to look at why Rigathi Gachagua is actually keen on kicking Johnson Sakaja out of Nairobi. Before we do that, for those who are watching the channel for the first time, I want you guys to take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Now, why do you think Rigathi Gachagua is trying to frustrate Johnson Sakaja? Why? And why do you think he has an interest of kicking him out? The truth of the matter is that removing Sakaja from Nairobi is not going to be easy. It's only Ruto who can engineer and probably succeed, but not Rigathi Gachagua. Because the other day I was listening to a gentleman called Cleophas Malala. Cleophas Malala was being interviewed, and it was very clear that the only people who knew about their plans of Ruto working with Mudavadi and Weta, the only people who knew was himself and Sakaja. So which means Sakaja played a key role for William Ruto. And that can also explain why, despite all the challenges he faced, he still ended up winning. But why would Rigathi Gachagua pick on this same man for eviction? Number one, I think it's his strategy to mobilize the Kikuyu support base. How do you mobilize the Kikuyu support base? Appear as their defender. The only problem he's facing is that Sakaja is a bit smart. You know, by claiming that this that Sakaja is supporting Raila, and he knows the hate most Kikuyus have for Raila Odinga, he wants to create that. He wants to mobilize the few Kikuyus using that. So it's his strategy. Then he will be able now to be their face. Again, the other day you saw him trying to talk about the matatus. The other day talking about what for the Kikuyus, as if Nairobi belongs to the Kikuyus. So if you ask me, he's trying to use that to entrench himself, to mobilize the Kikuyus in the diaspora and in Nairobi around him. That's number one. Number two, about Nairobi politics. It's about Nairobi politics. The Kikuyu factor. You know, I've always maintained on this platform that moving forward, and even in the last election, Nairobi will form part of a national agenda. So that if a discussion is to be held on who becomes the presidential candidate, who becomes the running mate, who becomes the speaker, and the rest, Nairobi will always be included. That's why Sakaja got it, because Sakaja was fronted by none other than Musalia Mudavadi. But he's using this to remind Sakaja that is us the Kikuyus who voted for you. And because Sakaja is telling him that's not possible, Nairobi is for everybody, he's now planning it to kick Sakaja out. And as a matter of fact, as we speak, Rigathi Gachagua doesn't have any influence in Nairobi. So he's trying to use these kind of strategies to penetrate Nairobi politics. By meeting these MCAs, for example, he'll be able to interact with them one by one. The next time you'll see him meeting with MPs, and then the next time you'll start seeing Rigathi Gachagua going to the ground in down there. So he wants to use Nairobi politics to entrench himself in Nairobi politics and probably just to destabilize Johnson Sakaja. Number 3, Rigathi Gachagua is also not very happy by the fact that Johnson Sakaja appointed Raila Odinga's allies to his cabinet and even directors. And Sakaja is saying he's not giving any apology. I mean, he's not apologetic. He's going to work with them. The fact is, Rigathi Gachagua would have wanted a situation where, for example, if Sakaja is making some appointments, then he will be the one to decide, or he will have a bigger say on who is appointed here, who is not appointed there. And that's why he's trying now to remove this guy, because this guy has refused to show him a bit of respect in court. Number 4 in my view is 2032 politics. The truth of the matter is that Rigathi Gachagua is planning to run for the presidency in 2032. One of the areas you need is Nairobi. Sakaja, who is also planning to run for the presidency in 2022, is also the governor for Nairobi. So which means both of them are starting in Nairobi, but Sakaja with an advantage being the governor for Nairobi. So he's trying to remove him, so that if he will succeed in removing Sakaja, what will happen is that his path for 2032 will be clear. Remember what happened to Mike Sonko. Mike Sonko was also kicked out. He could not run. Nobody was going to clear him. That's exactly what Rigathi Gachagua wants. 2032 politics. By removing Sakaja, it means Sakaja will not be eligible to run for the presidency, or even if he will not succeed in kicking him out, probably shall have sent his message. But it's all about 2032 politics. And number 5 in my view, I think it's all these things you are witnessing is still a continuation of Mudavadi Rigathi beef. The truth of the matter is that Rigathi Gachagua is fighting with Mudavadi. There is a supremacy battle between the two. Sakaja is just a victim who finds himself in a situation which he really never planned for. And lastly, I think he's also sending a coded message still to William Ruto. That's why these guys the guys are talking of impeaching him. He's telling Ruto, why are you supporting Sakaja? I don't know what you think. That's my take. Thank you, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.